Hey everybody, welcome back. This is number 6 in our paddock construction roofing video series, and we are also going to talk to you about what one of our biggest mistakes has been on our off-grid homesteading journey, and we want to just explain that to you. And then towards the end we have something really fun to share with you.
Hey there, strong people. As I've been calling it all along, I've been calling this group of little buildings the outer buildings, and eventually we renamed it to the corridor. So now we consolidated all those buildings in that hallway you see. We call that all the corridor now. Alright folks, so today in this video we're going to be putting up the roof structure. Probably just the frame. We'll see if I can get the roofing on at some point, but right now I'm just going to focus on putting up the frame for the rain catchment roof. The roosters are celebrating.
So you might be wondering, why are we building what we're calling the corridor area? This is a space that's basically part of the paddock where we had all the animals, but it's also attached to our chicken coop. And we decided over the summer that we really needed to have this space, and we actually started construction of this in September of 2024. It was actually started when I was up in Washington State taking care of my mom, and Doug was working on this project down here. We really were having some issues that we really had to be solved with building this corridor area, and the animals needed some shade. We needed a kind of a separate section where we could have animals separated out from the main paddock, because up until this point, you guys, we've had all of our animals in the same area, space, fenced off area, which is we call the paddock, the animal paddock, and it was causing problems. So Dougie, do you want to talk about what some of those problems were and what we did to solve that?
Oh yeah, so one of the main reasons to make this corridor area was to help with us feeding the dogs. The dogs, they still live with the animals, but we were having issues with the goats running up and trying to eat the dog food all the time. So I had to stand guard as a shepherd with a stick and basically influence the goats away from the dog food. And dog food's not good for goats anyways, but they cannot resist it. They see the bowl and they automatically think it's their food. So that was one of the biggest reasons why we made this corridor, was to separate it so the dogs could actually enjoy their food. And them being Pyrenees, I don't know if any of you other Pyrenees owners experience this, but they are very slow eaters. It seriously takes them like an hour to eat their little bowl of food, and standing there guarding goats away we've had enough of it. So we made this paddock. But in the background you're going to be seeing we have moved on from doing gabions. We have moved on from putting up the posts that are going to hold up the roof, and now we are actually going to the store, we're buying wood, we're coming back home, and we're actually building the structure to the corridor, and eventually you'll see us putting up the metal roofing.
Yep, so it solved many problems, and actually what started out as like a separate area to feed the dogs became so much more, and we're actually really happy with this area, and some of the other benefits that we're getting from this are we're going to have a shade area for our animals. So you all know the sun here where we're at here in southeast Arizona can get kind of intense, so the roofing gives some great shade. It also provides it's going to provide rainwater collection. So when Doug put the roof in, there's a very slight pitch to the roof, so the water will run off, and then on the one side we're going to capture it in our big cistern that we water our animals with, and then on the other side it's going to get captured in a small IBC tote. So
I guess I need to mention this before we go very much further, is we are inside recording this on a very blustery day. You might hear tapping in the background. That's actually our sun cloth hitting the roof of the RV, but we are recording inside, indoors, the RV today because we had to.
Yes.
Carry on, Carrie.
It's too windy out there. So yeah, it also provides a really nice wind block. It provides it's going to be a nursery area for when we have baby animals, so we can separate them out from the rest of the animals. You know, you don't want your baby animals in with your full-grown animals, you know, right off the bat. It's also going to be a little milking area for our goats when they're in milk. It's also going to have a separate chicken run area so that the chickens can be totally separate, because we have had some issues with one of our livestock guard dogs likes to go after the chickens, and she will kill them if she is left to her own devices. So this is going to be great to have the chickens completely separate. And also it's a storage area, so we'll be keeping our hay, alfalfa, and chicken feed and things like that will be in a nice, you know, roofed in area that's a storage area for us.
And all the tools that are going to be related to, like, you know, pitchforks and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, Doug started this in September of 2024. The roofing is done. You'll see here in the video, the roofing is done, the framing is done. We're going to be cobbing. He built this out of pallets, and we're going to be using bottles that we've collected and people have donated to us, and we're filling in the pallets with just extra bottles and cans and things, and then we're going to be cobbing over it. So these walls that are in the corridor are eventually going to be solid, so that'll give even more protection from the wind and elements for the animals.
In the background, once again, we are building the structure to hold up the roof. What this required is we went down to Home Depot or Lowe's, I don't know which one, but we got some nice pressure treated lumber. We kind of kept it standard. I wanted all 8-foot boards. That way I designed the whole thing so it'd have an 8-foot roof on it, so everything shouldn't have required any cutting, but I did have to do some adjusting with the Sawzall. But to do this, you're going to need some tools. You're going to need a Sawzall, you're going to need a drill, a hammer, a level, a tape measure, and lots of screws. And of course you're going to need to determine what kind of metal or shingle roof or what you're going to do for a roof. We chose to use the metal roofing that we already had bought when we first moved out here to go up on our house build. So we have the framing all completed. I just need to put some more hurricane brackets on this particular roof. But this has turned out to be a very good winter project. Something that doesn't have to do with masonry, concrete, or lime or plaster. So we're able to get some work done even in the winter time. So this paddock has become a very good decision for the winter time. Temperatures are warming up though. Let me just show you something that I got going on here. Right down there, I've set up, those boards used to be the base to my geodesic dome back in Denver. I was building a geodesic dome and had these frames all concreted into the backyard there. And today, we brought them all the way back up here, by the way. Doesn't mean I'm gonna build a geodesic dome, I just haven't figured out what I'm gonna do with these boards. But in the meantime, they are going to be my platform for cutting out metal roofing. This will be the first time that I've cut metal roofing other than with tin snips. I went and bought this grinder, whatever you want to call it, angle grinder, not sure what they call them, but it's got a metal cutting blade on it, and we're gonna see how how well this works. So we're gonna lay the metal sheeting roofing material on this and try to cut it. They just happen to be 16 feet long, and our roof is no wider than 8 feet at its widest. So that's gonna turn out perfect if I can cut these in half. But just wanted to explain that a bit. That winter time doesn't mean you come to a complete halt. So we've found a way of keep pushing forward by working on this paddock, and hopefully I can get this roof up today, get the metal on it at least, and then in our next video we'll be doing cobbing. We'll show you all that, how we do that. But we had to get this roof up. We felt that it was smart to get the roof up first. That way we're mudding in the shade. We'll have plenty of shade to work under. We bought 3,000 square foot of this roofing material. Our house is not going to be 3,000 square feet, so we're going to use a bunch of this roofing material. I believe it's aluminum. I'm not sure what it is, but not cheap, but it's pretty durable, and it's going to be good for keeping the sun out. So far it's not blowing around in the wind or anything like that. It seems pretty sturdy, even though it's thinner than I would have liked. I would have liked to have got some reclaimed old, you know, vintage galvanized steel roofing, but we're not fortunate to find any. It's kind of in demand.
Yeah, it's definitely in demand. But hey, pallets, you can still get decent pallets for free, and
for now.
Yeah, for now, and there's a lot that you can do with those, so we're using them for a lot of our construction. So we want to share with you what we feel has been one of our bigger mistakes building out our homestead. One of the reasons that Doug and I came out here in the first place was we really wanted to kind of have a reset on our lives and live a little bit more simple. We also really were interested in raising our own animals and slaughtering our own animals so that we knew where the meat had been, how it was raised. We wanted to make sure we were practicing sustainability and we were practicing regenerative types of farming practices, and that our animals were eating really good and that they weren't taking unnecessary injections or vaccinations. We feel very strongly about that, and so that was a big reason why we got animals right off the bat.
Yeah, when we first came out here, we did a lot of research on animals. We were kind of excited. So we looked at chickens, what have you, and we actually found some goats that were not that expensive. And as soon as we saw that, we were like, yeah, let's get goats. And we ended up getting them. That might be a mistake.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a mistake to have them now.
No.
I'm saying early on, when we first moved here, we should have probably held back.
Billy Jean. Kitty, kitty.
Don't do this on a windy day. I know. Yeah. I was gonna say, Who's that? Well, hi. Who's that? Oh, it's Luna. Hello. Oh, Luna. Hi, Luna. Hi, Ursa. Oh, it's my big pup. We're not saying we don't want to have animals right now. We're glad we have animals, and we are adding to our animals, as you're going to see here towards the end. But we definitely, had we to do it over, we probably would not have gotten animals right off the bat. We probably would have waited until our house was done and we had, or at least we had more infrastructure, because that's kind of been our struggle, has been not having the infrastructure for the animals. And because we've been so busy trying to do all the things that we've been doing and working full-time and stuff, it's just been a challenge. So it's been a challenge that we probably didn't need to do. And like we said, we don't want to get rid of our animals or anything. We're glad we have them, but if we had it to do over, we would have waited.
Yeah, it's if you're gonna be going out off-grid or homesteading, or even just have got some land and you want to put some animals, if you have not built the infrastructure, you should probably hold off a bit. That's just our advice. We did have infrastructure, but we were so naive and amateur hour that we didn't know the extent of infrastructure that we needed. We didn't.
Right.
We knew we needed a fence. We knew they needed shelter, but then you combine that with the lack of money and time and all that, we put up what we could. And so what you see is what you got from us when we first came out.
We were working with what we had, and it wasn't enough. And even though we had the best of intentions, like Doug said, it was amateur hour, and we were learning as we went. We know so much more. Not that we know everything, because we definitely don't, but we know a lot more than we did when we started almost 3 years ago. And I think that's been there's a learning curve, and some of you may already know this. Like, some of you may know that you cannot contain a Pyrenees even in a 5-foot fence, because they will friggin' figure out a way to climb over and go run out so they can protect your whole property. Like, these are little things that are, learn as you go. So here we are.
Yeah, here we are. We have animals. The animals are becoming numerous. We're beginning to figure out how to get rid of, meaning sell animals. And we're procuring a knowledge of the local community of where we can actually sell these animals, and who, Facebook Marketplace is a great place to advertise buying and selling animals. But yeah, I think the biggest advice we could give, and I still don't call it a mistake, I still think that for food security, in my opinion, it's important to have a redundant source of food, and farm animals is definitely that. But remember that with farm animals, you have to feed those animals too.
Yep, that's
and then the expenses come rolling in, which I don't think we've actually talked about.
No, let's just talk about that really quick, because it kind of goes with the whole thing. So we've been very fortunate, because the animals that we chose, the Nigerian dwarf goats, the Great Pyrenees, the chickens, all three of those things are actually not animals that require large inputs. The Nigerian dwarf goats, actually, they're pretty small, you guys, but they don't eat that much. Like, it's very reasonable. We feed them almost strictly alfalfa. During the winter, we feed them a goat, like a good grain mix, so that they can put on some weight. And we also give that to the nursing moms. But the chickens are pretty easy. They free range a lot, and they eat a lot of bugs. So do the turkeys. And then the Great Pyrenees it's so strange, because they're such a big breed of dog. You would expect them to eat tons, but they really don't.
Yeah, they don't. But it all adds up. You have a bunch of small feeding animals, and you have 50 of them. Of course, you're going to be spending a lot on food. So right now, I think alfalfa runs about $20-25 a bale, and our goats, at the size of herd that we have right now, it's about 1 bale a week. So you're talking $25 for the goats, which is really not that bad. Pyrenees are about $50 a week on the food. Then we have our domesticated dogs. That's another you know, maybe 15 bucks a week. And then the cats, of course, Carrie likes to feed the outdoor cats, so that's another 30 bucks a week probably. It all adds up.
Yeah, but again, we don't feel like that part was a mistake, and we're glad we have the animals that we do. And now they have a much cooler place to hang out. So yeah. And speaking of animals, speaking of babies, we had a thing happen here yesterday, and 2 of our goats gave birth, and it was kind of cool because the one goat is Laverne, and she's almost 3, and she had twins, which is awesome. And then her daughter Valentine, who was born last Valentine's Day, she had a baby. They all birthed these 3 little baby goat kids, all within an hour of each other.
And with a full moon.
Oh yeah, that was a full moon. So yeah, so that was really cool. The babies, as you can see in the picture or in the videos here, they're happy and healthy, and moms are doing a great job taking care of them. So we're pretty happy.
Right.
Thanks for sticking around to the end. Let's show you our special thing. Follow me. Okay. Lily wants you to follow too. Where'd it go? Right, we found the 3rd baby over here nursing. This is baby number 3. 3 healthy little goat babies. These guys are only 2 days old. They come out like ready to go, jumping around and playful, and it's pretty cool. And we have great moms. They do a really good job. They naturally know what to do. It's pretty amazing. Birth start to finish is only, for one, it was maybe 15 minutes. And with 2, it was probably about a half hour maybe from the time that they went into labor. So that's a blessing. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And just one more quick reminder, you guys, if you need any tools that you've seen in the videos today, click the links below in the description under the video here, and you can buy those through our links. It helps us out, and we appreciate it, and we appreciate all you guys sticking around to the end. We appreciate you guys. And don't forget, we are really trying hard to put links to the products that we use in our videos in our description, and you too can buy those tools. And if you do, it actually helps Doug and I. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but we make a small commission on anything that you buy that we link, and it helps our channel out and helps just our building of our homestead, and we appreciate it. So we will see you guys soon. Bye.